We're back live and we'll start the show soon. Happy Tuesday, guys. We're back for another show. Gonna be a fun one. As you can see, I shaved a little bit. Um, if you guys were here for last week, you guys will know that. But how's everyone doing? How's everyone's day? How's everyone's week? Hopefully, everything's going great, amazing. Whatever you guys do, work, life, job, school, whatever. Hope everything's great. And thank you guys for the support. Always. Thank you guys for tuning into the Alexis episode. Um, it's a fun one. Editing right now the second part. It looks like it's gonna be even longer. So hopefully I'll get that one done next week. It'll be up. Updates as well. Next Tuesday, next week, I'll be in New York. So unfortunately won't be able to do a show. No live show next week. Um If you guys want, I can do it when I come back on the Thursday night. If not Friday, if people aren't too busy, I know Friday people like to go out. If not, we'll resume the following Tuesday with the normal time. A lot of things happened this weekend. A lot of let's start off with the Niners. You know, I told you guys that they weren't going to lose this weekend. They didn't. They actually won first place in the NFC. Thank you, the Ravens. We'll get to them because the Seahawks they couldn't beat them. But let's start with what happened yesterday. So yesterday, the top team in the Premier League played Tottenham, and it was pretty easy work, easiest work of Chelsea's dominant performance these past couple weeks, dominating win 4-1, incredible play by Nicholas Jackson. Spurs, it seemed like they were missing men out there. It just seemed like Chelsea was just had two extra men, but what can you say? Chelsea is probably the best team in the Premier League I've ever seen, and hopefully they. Okay. Any Spurs fans in here? No Spurs fans? Y'all mad already? Anyways, no. Let's break it down. What really happened, and I got a couple questions for them. So we got obviously this one. What that razor do? It did some work, like I said. A little trim here and there. But what was easier work than Chelsea beating Tottenham, shaving that beard? Haha. But let's get down to what really happened. So let's see. We're present. We live. Hopefully you heard that little beginning monologue. But so Chelsea Tottenham yesterday. Obviously 4-1. If you guys just look at the box score 4-1, you think what happened? Spurs. They were first. They were playing good. They were undefeated at home. Chelsea, obviously, we've been struggling mid-table, and you see the result. You're like, well, what's going on? But let's break it down. So obviously at the beginning of the game it was an interesting game. If you guys watched it, very interesting. VAR, I'll have my thoughts on VAR, but I feel like it kind of ruined the flow of the game. VAR with the constant checking, things that were pretty easy to spot out. Offsides, fouls, penalties. Like it's pretty easy. You don't gotta like look it over and over again. But I think Spurs at the beginning, they scored first 1-0, and it looked like it was going to be a long day. But I think Chelsea as well, they were holding their own. I think they were playing good as well. Sterling, down the wing was, he was doing Sterling things. He's fast, but it's always with Sterling is the last touch, either the shot or the assist. He always messes up on that. And then Spurs had the opportunity to go 2-0, and I think that would have been GG's. But Spurs made some mistakes as well. They made some dumb fouls. Romero, he before he got his red card, he had an aggression on one of our players. No need for that. I mean, you guys are playing well. Why, risk your team going down the man, which later on happened, and risk losing the game, which you guys did. Obviously, PK was a PK. We go 1-1. And then, Spurs are down the man. Chelsea, it was just frustrating. Frustrating watching that game because Chelsea could have taken care of that game earlier than they did. They scored the last two goals in like the last 2 minutes. So Chelsea was struggling to beat depleted Tottenham. Obviously, Tottenham. What I didn't understand though, and I think there's a question on that. What hurts Spurs more, the injuries or the red? I want to say, obviously, when you're down to 9 men, why did you guys keep playing that high line? Like, why didn't you guys park the bus, try to counter, use zone speed? Like, I know you guys were down 9. I know you guys had a couple key injuries, like Madison, but like, there's no need for you guys to play a high line. Even though Chelsea, I mean, were dumb and they couldn't like break your line, or they were just dumb. They didn't make the right runs. Have the center midfielders make those runs instead of Sterling, because that's what you guys were. And then let's talk about your goalie, man. Your goalie was amazing, basically like an extra center back down there. So I feel like I understand Tottenham. They like to play that style, pressure, high line, but the situation, you guys could have played a little bit more back. Go park the bus, try to counter, and try to sneak a victory or get the tie. You guys had a couple chances that were offsides, and I think, who was it, Bentancur? He could have had the tying goal with the header. It didn't go through, and then at the end, finally Chelsea scored. They scored finally. I'll take the dub. Like I said, I last week I talked about I wasn't expecting us to win. I'll take it. We have obviously a tough match, this weekend against Man City. I'm hoping for a tie. Hey, if we. But let's jump into what I saw. Nicholas Jackson. So he obviously had a hat trick. Nicholas Jackson is a Chelsea striker. Is Nicholas Jackson him? And are y'all related? We are not related, because me, I would finish those. I would have scored 6 goals instead of 3. But Nicholas Jackson, man, before he scored the first goal, he had an opportunity, to tie the game. He had the opportunity to actually sweat it to Gallagher. Easy goal. He instead shot it, missed, had a header miss as well. That was clearly, all you got to do is tap it in. So he just needs to finish the easy ones, the gimmies. He needs to finish it. He needs to be more consistent, because I think that's what Chelsea is lacking: a striker that's going to finish those opportunities and not be put in a situation like this past game, where if Tottenham had their full team, they beat us. They beat us. They handle business, and that's what we're lacking. That's what we're lacking also when we play the mid tables, the mid team tables, the teams that we're supposed to beat, because we can't finish. So I saw, that he was celebrating a lot, shushing the fans. He did the C, and it's like, bro, like, calm down, bro. Like, you're not that guy. You're not that guy. Humble yourself. You scored a hat trick, great, but like, work on that. Finish those opportunities, because, like I said, Chelsea does not have. We don't have the luxury to be missing those type of goals. Yes, he's not him. No, definitely not him. Because if he was him, he would have scored 6. But I'll take the win. To finish off, I'll take the win. I enjoyed the win. I enjoyed watching it with the Rat and Tony. I mean, the Rat and Nene. Um, but it shouldn't have gone. It should have been taken care of way before, not the last 2 minutes. But we'll see how they play against City. I don't expect them to play 2-2 against City, because they'll destroy us. We'll probably be defensive, try to counter, try to use our speed on the wings, and it falls down to Jackson. If he has an opportunity, finish that, because on the other side, Haaland, he'll finish those opportunities. Now, obviously, Niners didn't play this weekend. We had a bye. We didn't play last weekend. We played this weekend against the Jaguars. Um, but we'll start with my top 5 rankings for this past week of the NFL teams. Number 1, I still got to put the Eagles there, because they're 7-1, 8-1, 8-1. I think they took care of business against division rival Cowboys. Pretty close game at the end. Cowboys did Cowboys things. They were on, I think, the 15-yard line. First and goal, 15-yard, and they ended up being like third and 30, opportunity to win the game. They had a sack, they had penalties, brought them back down, didn't take care of business, and they did Cowboys things. We got a comment. 8-1, thank you. And so I got to put Eagles one still until they lose another game. But number two now, the Ravens. The Ravens, man, they look scary. They're a scary team. Lamar Jackson is playing at MVP level. Their run game is incredible. The Seahawks couldn't stop their run. The Seahawks, which was one of the teams that we're saying is going to compete with us. I still think I'm still not going to count out the Seattle as a team. Like I said last week, I don't believe in Geno Smith, but as a team, Pete Carroll, he knows how to play the Niners, and they're always tough against us. But they went over there across the country against the Ravens. They handled business. The Ravens defense is good as well. They have, I believe, Geno Stone, I think is his name, cornerback. He had 2 picks against Geno Smith. Uh-huh. And man, if they're able to play that football of they run the ball good, play action with Lamar Jackson over the top, they got weapons. They have OBJ, Mark Andrews, Bateman, Flowers. It's a scary team. It's a scary team, and those teams are built, to go deep in the playoffs. So watch out, watch out, because now the AFC as well, they don't look as the dominant teams as like the Chiefs, Miami. We'll get to them. They don't look as they look beatable. Obviously, the Chiefs, they have Mahomes, and Mahomes is always going to be Mahomes. He'll he'll keep you in the games, and their defense is also good. But I like the Ravens. The Ravens, man, they're a scary team. I got the number 2, and we play them Christmas Day, so that's going to be I'm gonna be there. Good game, Niners, Ravens, and we'll see. How the Niners play these next couple weeks. How that game will stack up as a potential Super Bowl matchup. But that's my number 2 team. Number 3, Chiefs took care of business over there overseas in Germany against Miami. I watched the beginning of the game because the time changed, and I was oh damn, they're playing right now at 6 in the morning. I went back to sleep when they were up 21-0. I was thinking, man, it's gonna be a blowout. Wake up, it's 21-14. Miami has the opportunity to tie. They have a botched fumble. They fumble. Chiefs take the victory. So I got Chiefs in 3. Like I said, their defense in these past couple years of Chiefs dominance, the Chiefs defense, has never been like one of the best. It's always okay. But this year, I think the Chiefs defense is probably their stronger suit. And man, you have Mahomes on the other side that could, put up points. So they're also going to be a tough team to beat. And like I said, that matchup, Chiefs Ravens, if it does happen, in the playoffs, that's going to be a good one. But you got to put the Chiefs up there. So that's 3, 4. We got to put the Bengals. The Bengals, they beat us last week. They beat the Bills. Joe Burrow is playing like Joe Burrow again. He has weapons: Higgins, Chase, Boyd. Mixon is running the ball well. They're finally starting to play better. Obviously, Joe Burrow, he had an injury at the beginning of the season. He needed some to get back to his groove. So I would put the Bengals 4th and 5th. Let's put, I guess the Lions. The Lions, they're the other top NFC team. It's Eagles, Niners, Lions, Seahawks. So I'll put the Seahawks as number 5. I mean, the Lions as number 5. I think that they were on the bye this week, so we'll see how they were they on the bye. Oh no, they played Thursday. Man, I lost track of it. I think they were on the bye. They were on the bye, but I would put them as 5th because obviously the Bills right now they're on the losing streak. I think they're 5-4. The Niners we didn't play. Seahawks lost. Cowboys lost. But those are the next couple teams that should break into the top 5 if the Niners take care of business against the Jaguars. But we'll jump into another thing that happened this weekend. the Raiders. How them Raiders looking? So last week we touched on it, on what the Raiders should have, what I thought the Raiders should do, and they did. They ended up firing McDaniels, long overdue. They benched Jimmy. I don't think was Jimmy G even at the game. Obviously they play way better. You would expect that. You get momentum. You got a coach that you like with Pierce. He's a motivator, motivated the guys. Obviously, you guys are playing the Giants, not a good team. Sorry to hear about Daniel Jones. I think ACL, he's out for the season. But Raiders took care of business. They took care of what they needed to do. It's not their fault that the Giants are ass. They play way better. They finally use Hunter Renfro. I finally saw that he was getting there. Jacoby Myers got a touchdown. Devontae, he didn't get the ball a lot, but you could tell that Devontae now, he wants to play. He's bought in what the coach has to say. Josh Jacobs, he looked like Josh Jacobs out there. Um, but I don't know if you guys heard, what happened. There was a report. So I guess before Josh McDaniels got fired, the team, I think the players decided to have this meeting just to air out everything that, they had on their chest. They were real. They were upfront. They said what they had to say. I guess McDaniels, he couldn't take it. It hurt his ego. So he told, at that time, what was he, the linebacker coach, Pierce, which is the interim coach now, to go in there on his behalf. Pierce gave the team a speech saying, when now, because he used to play for the Giants back in '07 when they won the Super Bowl against the Patriots. He told them that season, we didn't have the best of seasons, but we believed that we could beat any team. And they ended up beating the undefeated Patriots that season. So after the meeting goes down, McDaniels goes up to Pierce and tells him, "Don't you ever talk bad about the Patriots." Some players find out. They tell the owner, Mike Davis, and that's one of the reasons why he got fired. So man, that's crazy. That's crazy if that's true. I think it's true. But imagine, your coach saying, obviously you want to motivate your team to play better. You say a story, and then the coach is like, "Don't talk bad about another team that you're not even on anymore. You're representing the Raiders." And especially, I know there's a rivalry. Well, anyone, they don't like the Patriots, but to say that, man, you got to go. You lost the team with that one. You're defending the Patriots. You're on the Raiders now. So going, in the future, I think McDaniels, he probably won't be a coach for a while anymore. He's already failed twice with Denver, now the Raiders. I like Pierce. I've seen his interviews. He's real. Obviously, he connects with the players. He has that Campbell type of coach, the coach for the Lions, that type of persona, a motivator. Um, and if he's able, to continue to win, if the Raiders start playing better, who knows? He might stay. But I think you guys should probably, like I said, try to go for Harbaugh next season. Harbaugh, match him up with the Raiders in Vegas. Obviously, that's going to get a lot of eyes already to the Raiders. You got Harbaugh coming back to the NFL. Obviously, Harbaugh, we love Harbaugh as a Niners fan. He before Shanahan, our team was good with Harbaugh, and I think it's a match made in heaven with the Raiders. And then the other question would be is a quarterback. Do you guys draft a quarterback? There's 3 quarterbacks in this upcoming draft. You got Caleb Williams, Penix, and the guy from Oregon, Bo Nix. And it just depends, which one falls to you guys. I know a lot of people are falling off the Caleb Williams bandwagon now, but I think he's still good. Maybe in the NFL, he could be like CJ Stroud, which we'll get into, but we'll see. I mean, there's options. O'Connell, he's good. I mean, he looks good. He looks solid. I don't think he's nothing crazy, but we'll see. I mean, he's also young. He's a rookie. Who knows? He might be Purdy-esque. But you got to get Jimmy out of there. Jimmy is basura. Trash. But Raiders fans, you guys enjoy that win? Are you guys optimistic about your teams? Do you want the Raiders to keep winning? Or do you want the Raiders to not win a lot, to have better draft position? let me know. But I got a couple friends that are Raiders fans. Happy for you guys, but it is what it is. It was the Giants. Next week, Jets. That I think you guys will take care of the Jets because the Jets don't have an offense, but their defense is crazy. So if you guys are able to score some points and stop Zach Wilson, you guys will probably take the other dub. But I was going through their schedule. I think like their next couple of games are going to be tough after the Jets. Now, where are the Seahawks at? Where are the Seahawks at? I'm not gonna defend Seattle. Yes, it was a tough game. Yes, it's also tough going cross country to the other side of the U.S. From Seattle to Maryland, Baltimore. But you know, I don't believe in Geno Smith. I don't think he's a good quarterback. You guys have a great running back, Walker, but you guys couldn't run the ball, which is what Pete Carroll likes you to run the ball. Then you got the play action, kind of what the Ravens did to you guys. But when your running back is averaging, what was it, 1.6 yards per carry, it's going to be a tough day. And that's when Geno Smith has to put the team on his back, try to make those plays. Which, hey, you could say the Niners are the same. Brock Purdy, he can't put the team on his back. He has to rely on McCaffrey running the ball. Then gives wide open. Then the defense lets you get like wide open receive. Receivers will be wide open because of it. So I get it, but Geno Smith, threw two picks. He has weapons. Metcalf. He has Njigba. He has El Bobo, Tyler Lockett, but they ain't at that level. I'm gonna say that. And Seahawks ain't at that level yet. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I might eat crow when they play the Niners, but I still think the Niners will take care of the Seahawks, the Sea Chickens. But like I said, the Seahawks always plays us tough. It's a division rival. It's going to be Thanksgiving. I think it's going to be like the main Thanksgiving game, so the night game. Um, but I don't fear Geno Smith. And yes, Tony, you can clip this. Where are you? You're never here. You always hide. And let's jump. Actually, there's a Tony question here. So, will Tony, the Rat teams bounce back, or are they trending down? So, the Rats team, Seattle took the L. Cruz Azul took the L last minute against Chivas. Um, how Madrid do? They tied, no? But they did lose Bellingham to injury. But this is what obviously it's winter now. The Rats, they tend to hibernate. They try to hide. They're hiding now. They're not out there. They're not, the chest was pumped up these past 3 weeks, obviously with the Niners losing and stuff, saying all the Niners and the high horse. But now, they're hiding, hibernating. The Rats are down. It's cold. They don't know what to do now. Even Chelsea won, so they can't even say that. So it's a tough time to be a Rat. I understand. I feel pity for them, and I hope I enjoy when the Rat is on this high source as well, because I enjoyed this too, the come down. So wherever you are, Rat, if you watch this, I know you're probably at work. You watch this late. I hope you're doing well. I hope everything you put your mind to, you accomplish. I hope it's okay. Things will get better. I'll leave some cheese for you. I know you love cheese, big cheese guy. So keep your head up. No problem. But now we got we did some Philly talk, but we had is Philly all that? You got to say they are. They're taking care of business. They're taking care of the teams that are in front of them. Obviously, they lost against the Jets, but like if we're real right now, if it is Niners Philly NFC Championship, it'll be a tough game for the Niners for what I've seen these past 3 weeks. As in, it's been tough for us, to stop the run. And what Philly does is they run the ball well. Their O line is a weapon, and what I've seen right now, I think it will be a long day for us. Obviously, we play them in 3 weeks over there in Philly, so hostile environment. But I want to see, like I said, in these next couple games, what the Niners have now that we have Chase. I want to see how that defense looks now. I want to see if Purdy is able to learn from his mistakes, sharpen his skills up, and be that quarterback that we believe him to be. And obviously Debo's going to come back. That's going to make McCaffrey's job easier. But as of right now, you got to say Philly is all that. I mean, they are the NFC championships. They lost the Super Bowl, but they look strong. AJ Brown is having a crazy year, man. AJ Brown's crazy, big, fast. DeAndre Swift running the ball well. Hurts hasn't looked, I will say Hurts hasn't looked all that, but he's doing enough. He's doing what he needs to do to win games, and that defense is even better. The rookie that they have on their D line that replaced Hargrave, which we got, man, he's crazy. Their secondary, the best linebackers. I don't know. So that's the thing. Um, could you run up? That's the thing. Maybe you can run on them, but they're going to control. Obviously, they'll control the ball more. They'll have more time with the ball since they run the ball a lot. So it's a tough team to beat. So I'm gonna say yes, they're all that. Now we're 30 minutes in. So let's jump into Niners talk. Obviously, we had a bye week. We got Chase. We're top of the NFC West. And what I want to see against the Jaguars. The Jaguars are also coming um, from a bye as well, and they're on the hot streak. I think they've won 5 in a row. Great run game with ETN, Trevor Lawrence. I think he's one of the top quarterbacks. But I don't fear their receivers. I don't, they have Christian Kirk, they have Ridley. Ridley hasn't done anything these past couple weeks. Ingram, he's been playing good, but I think what the Niners should do is, even though it goes against of how we play, we should play man and not zone, because I saw a stat that Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback going up against zone coverage. So even though going man for us is not our forte, I think we should go man because I don't fear their receivers. And that's going to give more time for our pass rush to get to Trevor Lawrence. Because if you're zone, he's going to know where to go. He'll know where the openings are and he'll just dice us up easy. And it'll be a long day for us. And then they'll have to make us play from behind, or, Purdy is going to want to put the team on his back, and that's not what we want to do. So I feel if we play man, make Lawrence, take an extra second to think, to know, to see where he wants to go. Bosa will get there. Chase will get there. Gregory will get there. Armstead, Hargrave. And then it'll make him feel uncomfortable. I feel like Niners fans, they always show up. I think that game, even though the Jaguars are winning, I feel like it's going to be majority. You'll hear the Niners fans. So that's the key on defense, I would say. On offense, Debo's back. So the key is let's run the ball. Run the ball with McCaffrey. Run the ball with Jordan Mason, please. Like, let's use Jordan Mason. I've been saying, I don't know how many weeks now. Let's use him. I feel like once we give him an opportunity, a lot of people are going to see, oh, okay, that's why. So that McCaffrey, Debo on the screen games, going to open up Ayuk, Kittle. Like we have all these weapons. Like we shouldn't be struggling like this. And all Purdy has to do is just get it to his playmakers. Don't play hero ball. Use your legs. Now we know you can move. You can get some yards running. And, maybe we needed this rest. Maybe they were battling some injuries, I know. But I'm going to go and say we take the dub this weekend against the Jaguars. Be a close game, I would say. Maybe 27-17, 27-20. But I think we take the dub, and I think we ride this momentum because after this we play the Bucks. That one, I think we handle the Bucks, and then we go into this gauntlet: Seattle, Eagles, Seattle, and then down the line the Ravens. So we're gonna play a bunch of bird teams. We need to take care of business, handle these birds, throw some poison bread so the birds eat, and then the rats come to me and boom. But I feel like that should be the keys to victory for the Niners. And what I want to see is just for them to look like a dominant team, for them to make me feel like it's one thing beating the Jaguars, right? But if it's close and there's still questions, then I'm like, man, can we compete for the Super Bowl? Because let's be honest, Niners fans, like if we go to the playoffs and lose, what does that do for us now? I mean, with this team, that's not enough. We need to win the Super Bowl. We need to not just go to the Super Bowl, but win it, be a dominant team, and because with how much money we're paying these players, we have this year, next year, and that's probably going to be it. Because then we're going to have to make decisions, which what I want to get into is Brandon Ayuk. Obviously, Brandon Ayuk is probably one of our best actual receivers on the team. Because Debo, I don't consider him a receiver. He's like this. Obviously, he's an amazing gadget player. He could take it. If you give it to him, he could take it to the house. But let's talk about Ayuk. Ayuk, from what we've seen this season, obviously he's had 2 touchdowns this season. He has, I believe, like he's on pace to get 1,400 yards. Sorry, but with everything that the Niners, they got to pay. If Purdy is it, we're gonna have to pay him down the line. I started thinking, right, like, do I want to pay Ayuk? Would we rather trade him, draft a young receiver? Because now we're seeing all these teams draft younger receivers, and they work out. Look at the Vikings; they had Diggs, they traded Diggs, got a first round pick. They traded for Justin, or they drafted Justin Jefferson. We know how Justin Jefferson is, but now Justin Jefferson, he's injured, and now Addison, he's been stepping up and he's been playing. Obviously, I'm not saying he's better than Justin Jefferson, but now they have two young receivers, and if they're like, man, if Addison continues playing like that, they might, we'll trade Justin Jefferson and draft another one, but what I'm saying is, if a team gives us a first for Ayuk, we'll have 2 first round picks. We can pick up a young receiver. Now we don't got to worry about paying a receiver. We have them on the rookie scale. Usually receivers they pan out. They play good right away. So that's something to think about. Something to think about because, like I said, we're gonna have to pay not just Ayuk, Hufanga. If he keeps playing, we're gonna have to pay him, Diamondor Lenore. Like I mentioned, Purdy. So it's these decisions, that you think about, and yeah, it's tough because obviously I like Ayuk. I don't want him to leave the team, but if he does play good and he wants, big money, what can the Niners do? They don't have that, that we do have some cap space, but are we willing to pay 20,000 for Ayuk and 20,000 for Debo? So, I mean, if you told me who would I rather pay, I'll rather pay Ayuk. But then after, these past couple games that Debo didn't play, it made me think like maybe Debo is very important to how our team plays. So maybe on another team, Debo, they don't use him how he's supposed to be used like we use him. He opens up McCaffrey and he's more vital for our team for how we play. So just a thought out there. I don't know what you Niners fans think. Am I crazy? Do you guys were like, how could we trade Ayuk? But something to think about. Obviously, nothing's going to happen this season. Nothing might not even happen next season because we still have him under contract. But next season will be his last season, so they would have to make a decision by the end of next season. Or he might sit out because he doesn't want to play out his last year. So, but let's talk about C.J. Stroud, one of the rookie quarterbacks for this season. He was picked number 2. He's been having I think he's the best, obviously the best rookie quarterback this season, probably rookie of the year. Did the Panthers make a mistake passing on him to get I'm losing what's his name from Alabama? Man, I lost my train of thought. Quarterback for the Panthers that play for Alabama, the rookie Bryce Young. Bryce Young. I think they did. I think what a lot of people were scared about C.J. Stroud was I guess he took like a cognitive exam just to test like his decision making ability, and he kind of he didn't fail it, but he didn't do too good. And usually, if you don't do too good, it translates that you don't play good. But I guess he's the outlier because he's been playing great. He had 5 touchdowns this past game. And who would have thought? Me going into the season, I thought the Texans, were going to pick again high. They weren't going to do that good. They're they're a up and coming young team, but their coach is D'Amico Ryans, who was our defensive coordinator. His defense is playing well. They have Jimmy Ward, one of my favorite Niners players. I didn't want him to leave. So their defense is good. They got these receivers that I've never heard of, and they're playing amazing. And they have C.J. Stroud, and they're just gonna get better. And I feel like C.J. Stroud, he's gonna be someone in this league. And um, yeah, they look good, and that division is not a strong division. It's obviously Jaguars, them, the Colts. And I always miss that last team: Colts, Jaguars, Houston, Titans. Sorry, and Titans. So that might be their division, and they might sneak into the playoffs. They might squeeze out first place. Bryce Young, and yeah, he got 41.8 fantasy points, so that doesn't hurt. But Bryce Young, it's good to see up and coming next quarterbacks. Obviously, too early to tell, right? Maybe Bryce Young, because if you remember Trevor Lawrence's first season, he didn't do that good. Obviously, he had a bad coach, but then he improved. He got a better team. Obviously, the Panthers, they don't got a good team. I mean, they only have what Thielen out there, and that's about it. They do got some people on defense. I wanted Brian Burns, but they do. The one thing about the Panthers is they got they have the Houston's first round pick, their own first round pick. I believe they have obviously they got a couple picks, so they could still build their team. It's still early. Let's give them 3 years, but from what I can see, is C.J. Stroud. I feel like he's going to be the rookie of the year. He's a great quarterback, and that good for the Houston Texans. I'm a root because D'Amico Ryans is out there. So happy for them. Another one I wanted to talk about, Joshua Dobbs. What a great story, right? So he was traded to the Cardinals, right? Uh, because Kyler Murray was injured, they needed a quarterback, and he was playing. Obviously, he's playing on the crap team, but he was playing good. He made plays. It wasn't his fault they were losing. Kirk Cousins gets injured. They trade him to the Vikings. So he gets there, no practice. He doesn't even know the players' names. He hasn't, he wasn't expecting to play because they were going to use the other quarterback. He gets injured in the game. He comes in, leads the Vikings to a victory against the Falcons, who aren't that bad. Their defense is good. And I guess they were practicing between plays. I guess quarterbacks have like their cadence, like say hi. Everyone's different. And they were practicing that. So that was going on while the defense was playing. He was practicing that, and he led the team to a victory. He ran the ball well, and that's another that's good for him. Good for him. And now the Vikings, I believe they beat us. I think they're on a 3-game winning streak, and also another team that might go to the playoffs. They got a good defense. They got some playmakers, and they still have Justin Jefferson. He's going to come back. So, and then, where's Daniel? I know that's your team. And it all started because you beat us. We're like good luck Chuck. You beat us, you get better. So, and then to wrap the show up, let's talk UFC. It's gonna be a big fight this weekend in Madison. I've always wanted to go to Madison Square Garden, and I will be there. Hopefully you guys know that reference. But The UFC, we have Pereira against Giri Prohashka. So I will say this. So if you're watching this, you're not really into UFC, never watch it, watch this fight. This fight right here, Giri Prohashka, Alex Pereira, is gonna be a banger. These guys are both like, so Giri Prohashka, his persona, he likes to like, he's like a samurai. He's all about fighting. He's all about the art of martial arts. Then you got Pereira. He's one of the scariest guys. One punch knockout. If he touches you, your lights are out, and they're gonna fight for the light heavyweight championship. Right now, it's vacant. It got pushed up because this was supposed to be John Jones against Stipe, but John Jones got injured. So if you guys, like I said, don't like MMA, just watch this fight. This fight is gonna be a banger. But I'm gonna have to go with my Brazilian, Alex Pereira. I'm going Alex Pereira. Actually, let me show you guys so you guys know what I'm talking about. So we got Pereira. I'm going Pereira, and then this one too. So, like I said, John Jones, he's not fighting anymore. So the heavyweight, I think this is for there's going to be a heavyweight interim belt. We got City Pavlovich, who he's been beating. He beat Blades. He beat my boy Derek Lewis. So he's been on the winning streak. He looks scary. I think he's one of the best heavyweights right now. He's going up against Tom Aspinall, who's also he's been on a winning streak. He hasn't fought more than one round because all his fights has ended in the first round. And he's from England, so potentially looking to be the first England heavyweight champ. But I feel on this one, I'm going Pavlovich. Pavlovich, scary Russian guy. He's everything ground game. He has hands, so I'm going with him. Now we got Brazilians, Jessica Andrade against Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie Dern is a jiu-jitsu specialist. Andrade, she's like a boxer. She's well rounded as well. I'm gonna have to go Dern. I feel because she's a lot taller than her. And this one, the Frivola Benoit Saint Denis. I don't know much about them. We have a 12-1 record against 11-3, so pretty close record. I would say Benoit is probably the favorite, so I'm gonna go with him, but we'll see. Now this one here, Diego Lopez. Diego Lopez is a Brazilian who fights out of Mexico. So he trains in Mexico. He trains with Brandon Moreno. He's another jiu-jitsu specialist. He's going up against Pat Sabatini. I'm going Diego Lopez just because he's a Brazilian that has inherited the Mexican tradition. If you guys haven't watched what's it called, Brandon Moreno's podcast, you should watch him. He comes up on some of his shows. They're hilarious. They're hilarious. A lot of like Mexican slang and Mexican albur, and it's funny because he has the thick Brazilian accent, but like he's like, I don't know. I'm not gonna, but he says like, like with a Brazilian accent, saying like no mames and shit like that. But I got Diego Lopez, so like I said, this is gonna be in Madison Square Garden, New York. I'll probably be watching this on while waiting for my flight to New York. If I would have known, I would have gone earlier. But it should be a good one. I definitely recommend watching that one. If you guys, like I said, if you guys aren't into UFC, watch the Giri Prohaska Alex Pereira. And what I would say, if you don't want to pay for it, I wouldn't recommend you searching up an illegal stream because that is not good. That is illegal. And I wouldn't recommend you using Stream East because that's illegal. And I wouldn't recommend you because it has good quality, but I wouldn't recommend it to you. I wouldn't recommend it to you. So, oh, yeah, we could talk Newcastle. They lost today. I saw they lost, but my friend Pepe's, he announced that he is a Newcastle fan now, one of the biggest fans I know of Newcastle. But unfortunately, they lost today. Another team lost today, but I don't know their name. I think I don't know. Is it Salona against Donetsk? Something like that, but they lost. But Newcastle, they lost today. But they're a good team. They're a good team. They're gonna in these next couple of years, they're gonna put so much money in that team that might be like the next Man City. So stay tuned for that team. Who else? Oh, Pancho, if you're here, we were talking smack yesterday while we were playing, but Milan they got the dub. Papi Giroud, he scored one. They handled PSG. Obviously, I know there's a lot of PSG fans because you know that a lot of the Barca fans they became PSG fans, but now we're all Inter Miami fans. Oh, another thing, Luis Suarez, he's going to Inter Miami. He's going to be with him, Alba, Messi, Busquets. You know, my team's doing big things in the MLS. Inter Miami, you know, we're going to be MLS champions next season. You know, I've been a faithful supporter these past couple of years. I actually bought their first jersey they released. Can't wait. I can't wait to be next to DJ Khaled watching the game. So shout out to Inter Miami. You know, I'm forever faithful to them. But thank you guys again. You know, another incredible show. As I always mention, I always let you guys ask the questions to me. So on Instagram, follow the Instagram, the Giojackson Show. Drop your questions. I'll answer them. Thank you guys for always tuning into the show. Whoever's here live, asking questions. If you watch this late, thank you for watching the show. Let me know what you guys like. Let me know what you don't like. Let me know what sports you want me to talk about. We didn't get into the Warriors today. They won their first game in the in season tournament. Um, we'll talk about them next week. But we got last comments. See you in pro. Oh yeah, guys, let me know. Let me know. You know, I really want to start streaming because I think we're hilarious. But you know, I can get into streaming. You know, when we play pro clubs, we've been playing Fortnite. But I like I said, I don't want to mix a bunch of things on this channel. But if you guys want to see us play, I'm one of the best strikers in pro clubs. You know, I never miss. I got like 1,000 goals, and then Fortnite, I I get carried to win. So if you want to see that, if you want to see people box me up, uh, in a triangle, you know, these like 5-year-olds boxing me up. I'm a 30-year-old man. I can't, you know, process what's happening to me, but let me know. I can start doing that. But again, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Make sure to like, subscribe. We hit the 50 subscribers. Whoop, whoop, 50. Thank you guys for following the channel. And I'm out. Peace out. Thank you. Let me outro.